What we don't have here is a 2-quarterback system.
That got scrapped.
We've got a starting quarterback and another guy they use sometimes, but it's not a 2-quarterback system.
This is the poor man's version of what the Saints have been doing. Because when I watch Saints games, in the peak of Taysom Hill, Drew Brees, he was playing more than this. Trey Lance is not playing. My calculation, he got 2 snaps tonight. Is that what you got? He had the touchdown, and he had the other weird play.
And the spin around play, yeah.
Yeah. That immediately
that was DOA, I think.
Well, and immediately I get tweets like, Middlecoff, I thought this guy was really fast. Well, hey, guys.
Hey, we're glad you're watching this video. Give it a like and subscribe to our channel.
Yep. Also, check out our podcast below in the description.
We are sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka.
#1 vodka in America. Go get yourself some.
Savor responsibly.
He is not Kyler Murray. I don't think people quite realize this, and this is part of coming from North Dakota State and no one really watching. So the casual fan does not have a true scouting report on this player. I got a lot of tweets like, bro, I thought he was a lot faster. I didn't see the explosion. He is not Kyler Lamar Jackson twitchy. Now, he's mobile. He's like think Deshaun Watson, think younger Russell. Like, he's quick relative to like Jimmy or even Derek Carr, even like athletic quarterbacks. But he is not, if Savage the safety is running at him or Jimmy Ward were to be running at him, he ain't running away from that guy. He will get Fred Warner could catch him, right? I think that's a little bit of a misconception by his running. He is not, if this guy's going to hit big picture and be one day a top 10 quarterback, because that's anything less than that was going to be sneaky disaster given what they gave up. He's going to have to be a passing quarterback who moves like he's going to make plays with his legs. And, you know, like Rodgers, he's faster than Rodgers, but you know how Aaron will just take off and do his like where he gets out of bounds and he's kind of smiling at you. He'll have to do it a little faster than that, but he is not going to be Kyler Murray going back and forth or Lamar Jackson making 3 guys miss. I think that's a little misconception with the player.
I think some of it comes from because you and I did several months ago, the Wednesday night watch party. We watched a bunch of Trey Lance, and that was one of our takeaways. And we've been telling people this for a few months. But wasn't there like, I think some of that comes from, wasn't there like some GPS on him that he ran like the 4th fastest something or other at some other point in time? Maybe in a North Dakota. Wasn't there a GPS stat on Trey that like everyone was fawning over? It would have been, if it had happened in the NFL, it would have been the 2nd fastest run by a quarterback in 6 years, or I don't even know what. Somebody might remember and can tell me if that's the case. But I felt like there was something like that out there. But you and I watched the tape, and we're like, look, some of these guys who are bagging groceries are chasing him down.
Yeah.
Which is fun. That's not what he's here to do. That's not what he's
like one day, Fields has a long way to go, and a lot of it's out of his control. His team's terrible. He's a 4-4 guy. Like, he can really explode.
What they have today, 49 yards on 42 plays?
I thought it was like 68, but the netted one.
Okay.
Oh, no, Justin had 68 passing, but then it equaled 1 total once you factor in all Myles Garrett and Clowney sacks. I think there were like 17 of them. The whole place chanted Myles Garrett. You don't typically hear that with a defensive end, so it shows you he had quite the day.
4.5.
He had 4.5 sacks. I think Clowney had 1. I think they totaled like 7 sacks as a
I think
team.
it was 8.
Yeah, it was.
I can check.
It was ugly. But they got to turn this guy into a passer. Like, for this to work, I don't think Kyle feels he's ready for the whole thing.
Well, do you think he would have been given all the thing for all the shit that Garoppolo gets, all the stuff that he had to do tonight? That would have been a lot for a rookie quarterback.
Would you see the rookie quarterbacks today?
I did. Mac Jones got booed. Justin Fields was terrible.
Trevor Lawrence looks as bad as he's ever looked in his life. And Zach Wilson, I think.
And it was the best game Trevor Lawrence has played in his career, some were saying.
When I looked Zach
NFL
Wilson
career.
like late 4th against the Broncos, the number was like 110 yards total with a bad pick. That I saw someone like, he did not need to throw that. So it
was 160, 2 picks, no touchdowns. QB rating of 42 for Zach Wilson.
For Zach, yeah. Tough opponent, but
anyway, to your point on Trey, though.
So I just think a lot of these guys, and here's the problem. Once you get into the season, a coach, they are obsessed with the game plan. It's all about like the war come Sunday. So they're just putting together the plan of attack. There's not as much, well, let's go on Monday afternoon and work with Trey on the field. We'll get a couple guys to come give him some, like, you just don't have time. especially when your head coach is also essentially kind of your quarterback coach and your offensive coordinator. I just don't think they have time to get him ready once the season starts. So in Kyle's mind, he doesn't view Trey as ready. And whether we agree or disagree, I don't even know. I will agree with Kyle that given that they want to make the playoffs, none of these other teams playing quarterbacks, I guess the Patriots do, but they might not be a playoff team, right? We'll see how this plays out with them.
Doesn't look like it right now. I mean, they got Brady
Tampa
coming in
beats them,
next.
what would they be, 1-3?
They've had multiple 50 double score, 2-score losses already.
Yeah, so they might be in trouble. Under no circumstances Kyle not want to make the playoffs, right? And he knows it might be really, really hard with the ebb and flow of Jimmy, but Jimmy probably gives him the better chance against the really good teams. Trey could end up with a 4-pick game against a good team, right?
Well, and are all their games going to look like? Are all their games? Not all their games. Are a lot of their games going to look like this Packer game? To some level, if you're down 10-0, it makes it hard. But okay, when are they going to have 2 healthy running backs they trust? What's changing in their secondary? Is Ambry Thomas going to be suddenly ready to contribute? I mean, the fact that he's not.
Good point here in the chat, though, Guy.
What's that?
Relative to the other teams that we just talked about with the other 4 rookie quarterbacks, no one has Ayuk, Debo, Kittle.
This is why I said at the beginning of the year, if he starts, he's got the best chance to be the rookie of the year. Hey, go to DraftKings right now. Use the code HAM. There's a link below in the description.
Yep, get in our game. Also, you want to gamble? Monday Night Football is tonight. Eagles at the Cowboys. MyBookie.ag, promo code HAM and the number 1.
But again, if they're going to be playing in that game without a run game, you're right. Yeah, it's better than the Bears. Well, cool. It's better than the Jets. Well, what does that get you? It's better than the Jags. Well, awesome. Okay. We're talking about.
Couldn't he be the run game? Couldn't you just use him more as like a Taysom Hill?
Absolutely. I think you could. You definitely could. I'd put him in there with Jimmy. I don't know, but
I would play. The one here would be and this is the problem. Kyle's the boss. So there's no well, let's sit down and have conversations. Like if Kyle doesn't want to sit down and conversations, like it's hard. Now maybe John can. Hey, Kyle, could we play Trey a little more? Like, how do you have that conversation?
I think he wants to.
Well, why doesn't he fucking put him in the game?
I think he wants to. I mean, look at his face. Every time they cut to him on the sideline, he's watching Jimmy. He's not enjoying that.
Well, they jumped off sides. He was screaming. That one play when they jumped and
when they snapped, when Alex Mack snapped the ball, no one else moved.
Oh my! The
I love the
left
lineman's
guard didn't budge.
Yes. I love the lineman's commitment to like, no, I'm holding my stance, so they know I didn't move.
But the problem is the D tackle over him, like 2 steps, realize this guy's not moving, already in the backfield. And the dude just has perfect form. Like, no, yeah. I go on 3. It's like, well, you got to have some instincts, man. You see Kenny Clark. He's in San Mateo right now, so you might want to go catch him.
You check the rear view. He's back there. I think he wants to play. Again, I think it goes back to the game we just watched. I think they're going to play in a lot more games that look like that.
Well, eventually.
And that's a hard spot to put them.
You just have to live with, just give them 3 plays and see how it goes.
Yeah, and I think also if you lose some of those games, like you did tonight, then you go, well, at this point, what do we have to lose?
Well, it's hard. Like tonight, you lose the game and you didn't really get him reps. Right? He could do that run play in his sleep. Like, that's not really a true rep. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but you agree. Like, he could run that play.
But that's it's an example of how every play was it's an example of how hard it is to do a 2-quarterback thing. It's great on paper and in theory, but
well, why do you do it in the last preseason game and then not even try it in the game when he's kicking their ass?
Because well, that's a good question. But in the preseason game, it doesn't matter. None of those.
I agree.
High leverage and low leverage plays.
But didn't you feel like when he was doing the preseason game because he wanted to try it out?
Yeah.
Right. It'd be like a guy. It'd be like someone just only hitting cut shots. A pro golfer. Like, why wouldn't you just, if you're doing that because you want to be able to do it in pressure situations?
Yeah.
You got the feel of it. I thought, even if it wasn't going to be on that level, because that was really extreme, he refuses to even I thought a couple times tonight, early in the game, put him in, get a spark. See if he's got it.
The reverse could happen. It's 10-0. What if he throws it?
Well, I know, but it's 10-0. You might lose 30-0 anyway.
But he was right. His team came back and got the lead.
Well, I know he keeps being proven right because he gets them. But tonight it was a little lucky with the calls and.
But see, I think it was the
not
same
lucky.
amount of luck
not lucky. I mean,
they got
lucky to be back in the game. He's right that
Here's my ultimate point. I think he wants him in the game. I think he's frustrated with Jimmy. I think he knows what the limitations are. And I also think he's having a hard time finding the spot once the real bullets start flying.
And then you get down. It's an uncomfortable situation because you've never done that in your career. No one does it. Even Sean Payton didn't do. He'd bring him in for a play or two, and then Drew would run back. No one did what I think we all thought he was going to do for that last preseason game. And even tonight, like if you're in a situation where it's 17-7, what if Jimmy gets you a first down and then you just bring him in for a series? That would be unheard. No one does that. So I understand where he's like, this is an uncomfortable thing to do. Sometimes to be uncomfortable, you just have to do it, right? What do they say about like fear? And I get it. Like it's easy talking in theories and all this bullshit. Like it's a game. He's the offensive coordinator. He's like, fuck it. I'm just gonna run this play that I know what he's on tilt anyway.
Yeah.
But I thought there were a couple moments tonight where he could have just. And again, I'm assuming
he doesn't have a veteran running back in there to help him.
That hurts. But does he even have? Are we even sure that he has plays for him coming into this game that he feels like he could use him in that situation? Because I'm not at this point.
I think
I'm not saying they don't have plays for him, but he feels that like we're gonna put him in a situation where we're down 10 points.
No, I don't think he's putting him in that spot.
Unless you feel like he's comfortable letting him pass.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's a problem. But that'd be my pushback if I was. And are these conversations happening tomorrow? Like, is someone having a conversation I don't know. I mean, is the guy in the building beside John Lynch? And even that, it's not really his role, like, question scheme. But, like, what are we doing with Trey?